Hi everyone, it is 1:45 on what is technically Friday morning. I'm sat in my car. You might be able to see the lights behind me. You can't see me because, you might be able to see my head, I don't know. I just can't be bothered holding it up ahead of me. I'm just holding it onto the steering wheel. I am in location number 1. Go to location number 1. Who remembers location number 1? I do. I don't feel at all comfortable in any of my locations. I can't remember the last time I actually came to location number 1. I think the video that went up on Thursday, yesterday, today, whatever day it was, I think I filmed here, and I think I said something like, I hope you can't see where I am. I think that's that video. I think that was possibly the last time that I filmed here that I can remember. I could be wrong. I might have filmed, actually I filmed, there was a video that went up on here, possibly in July, and the picture of it, like the picture that you can see before you click on it, is a Barbra Streisand CD. That was the last time I filmed here, that date, whatever that date was, that is the last time I came here. And from memory it would have been July, because I was working where I work now. So that's it really, that's all I know. Talking of work, technically I should be at work at 9 AM, like in 8 hours time. Somehow, and I think this is only because they need me for what I would have been going in to do, I'm being allowed to work from home tomorrow. And I think it's because of what I would be doing, they have to have done tomorrow, and no one else can do it. To me it's a piece of piss, to be honest, but they can't work out how I do what I do, and I don't know how, because my work diary is on my desk at work, and in it basically shows you how to do it. And I know they've been reading my diary, because I know, like, when I have a certain day off every week, I know when I go in the next day, I know that my diary's been touched. Not that I'm writing any big dark secrets in it, it's always work related crap, or my doodles when I'm bored. But yeah, so basically, it's not a long story how I got to be able to work from home, but I think no matter what I said, I could have dictated the terms of me working tomorrow, because they need me that much. I could have basically said I want double an hour what I'm getting, because that's how much they need me. Not that I would do that, but they need me, and I'm kind of in a better mood about that because I don't have to go. I was really stressed out about it. I had a migraine today, and I switched my phone off for the majority of the day, and at one point I put it on and I had a missed call from the office, and I was like, oh god, they're trying to find out if I'm coming in tomorrow. And I was like, I can't deal with this, so I switched my phone back off. Probably sounds bad and unprofessional, but I was so worked up about having to go. I was just like, I don't know if I can do it. And yeah, I can work from home. I'm not going to work fully from home, but yeah, I'm just relieved that I don't have to go. They think I'm going back on Monday. I don't know. I haven't actually resigned yet, which is really bad, because I was going to do it over the weekend, but I was meant to write my resignation letter today, but I've been so stressed out, I forgot. So I'm going to try and do it over the weekend, or actually I might, if I got a chance, I can do it tomorrow and get it printed, and I'm going to carry it in my bag. I'm going to print loads of different ones with different dates on and then resign at an appropriate time. But yeah, it is a weight off my mind that I don't have to go. I've not been for 2 weeks, and I was getting really stressed out about it, and having a migraine did not help. But I do feel better because I don't have to go. I still plan on resigning, I just don't know when that's going to happen. It might happen Monday. I don't know, because they're expecting me in Monday. And I might be getting another sick note. So I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know if I should take another week off or what. I don't know. Like, I'll cross that bridge when we get there, but, you know, the police like to interfere in my life. They might just ring them up and tell them that I've said something on YouTube about them, because I wouldn't put it past them, and that's why I didn't want them to know where I was working, because they do now, and I'm not happy about that, because I know how they've treated me and how, you know, knowing them, they'll ring up and say Melanie said something about you in a video. What else? Oh, I have got a message off someone regarding the video that I put up. Well, it should have gone up second, but technically it went up first because the other one didn't finish uploading until 9 AM, which is a crazy amount of time. But the one where I'm sat on the edge of my bed taking painkillers, all I'm going to say is, because of the lighting in the room and the fact that I put a filter on, it made things appear darker than what they actually are. I did get a message regarding that, and I just want to point out it's because of the filter and the darkness in the room. So that's all I'm going to say about that video, because I thought putting a filter on would hide certain things, but it didn't. What else? Obviously I come out for a drive. I didn't plan on the drive, but basically certain someone come home inebriated and started to be a bit of a idiot with me, and I was in the kitchen and they made 3 sandwiches, and then they noticed there were food that I'd cooked, because basically what I did today was made my own version of sausage casserole, which, if anyone's interested, you just put a passata and a tin of chopped tomatoes in one pan whilst you brown some sausages. You then put the sausages in the pan once the passata, tomato, whatever's warmed up, with 1 chicken stock cube. Whilst that's bubbling away, or whatever you want to do with it, I then soften an onion. It was a red onion, for the record. I'm not very good with onions, they make me quite ill. So then I put that in the pan, and then I did an orange pepper, put that in the pan, and a yellow pepper, softening them in the frying pan with a tiny fry light thing. I think it was the olive one. Then I added quite a lot of oregano, which is my favourite herb, and 2 cloves of garlic, and another stock cube, and a little bit of pepper. And then I let it simmer in the pan for, it was over an hour, I don't know how long. Obviously the longer you let it simmer for, the softer things become. You can simmer it for 2 hours if you really wanted to, but half an hour minimum. Obviously I didn't eat everything that was in the pan. I just did it because it takes like 10 minutes to prepare, and I've been living off like ready-made meals, like putting them in the oven and stuff like that. So I just thought I'd do that for a change. And then of course he spotted what was left, and then he started to go on about how I should cook his meals for him every day. And I said I'm not doing it. I used to do it for him until about, I think it was June 2015, because it got too much. Because basically what was happening was I was cooking 2 different meals, one for me, one for him, because we like completely different things the majority of the time. And I was like cooking things, and then he was basically slagging off everything that I was cooking. So what happened was, I was like, you know, I was cooking these meals that I liked and what I thought he liked, and then all of a sudden he'd be like, I don't like such and such. I'd be like, yeah, but you eat it all the time. Well, I don't like it. And I'm like, I'm not cooking 2 different meals. And anyway, to save hassle, I was cooking 2 different meals, And then there were days I was having to cook him a meal, and the Sundays I don't even eat like a cooked meal because I just don't, you know, if I'm feeling down or whatever, the last thing I want to do is stand in the kitchen cooking, even if it's something that takes 5 minutes. So it got a bit too much because it was like the person I was seeing at the time, I would go to his house for the weekend, and before I could go, I was having to cook meals for my dad to last in the weekend, even though I weren't going to be there. Like I went on holiday for a week and I had to leave 14 meals in case he wanted to eat 2 meals at home a day. And literally the night before I went on holiday, I'm there cooking all these meals, and I'm like, why am I doing this? So the reason I eventually stopped was because I think it was a Friday, it would have been a Friday, and I'd been busy all day. I was rushing around doing all sorts of things. I'd done the shopping, I'd done lots of things that day, and the person that I was seeing at the time, he used to finish at lunchtime on a Friday, and if he was coming over to mine to stay, he would come like 2 o'clock. But I think he'd come at 4 o'clock that day. Anyway, we were out and about doing things, and it was about going up for 8 o'clock, and my phone starts ringing, and he's like, where are you? I can't get in the house. And he couldn't get in the house because I'd gone out early in the day and accidentally not taken my key. So when he left, he'd locked the door and I couldn't get back in, so I'd gone and picked up his key, planning on being at home when he got home. But he came home earlier than normal because he'd gone to the pub at 2 in the afternoon rather than 4. So he got home like 8 or whatever it was, and I weren't there. So I'm answering the phone and he's like being abusive on the phone to me, and I was actually in a shop round the corner because I'd originally bought what I was going to cook that night, and because basically I just changed my mind and I went to the shop to get something else, so that's why I was in the shop. So didn't expect him home till about 10 o'clock, and he come home, so getting abuse off him. And then I was only 5 minutes away as well, but he was there like, you're out of order, you should be home for when I get home. And I was just like, well, you don't normally come home for 8 till 10 o'clock. You should expect me at any time, so you should be home. And like really throwing his weight around with me. And it was really embarrassing because I don't think I'd been with who I was with for long. Well, we might have been together for like 5 months, but it's still not a long time. And I'm getting abuse off my dad like that. So I went home, and of course he goes straight in the kitchen expecting a meal to be made. And I'm like, I've just gone and picked up what I'm going to cook for us all for the evening meal. And he just went absolutely crazy at me, telling me I was out of order and a meal should be ready for when he gets home. And I said, well, you know, you're not normally home till 10 o'clock. And he was just going on how I should be prepared for him to come home any time from 4 o'clock. And I'm like, you never do. And he like stormed out the kitchen, swore at me, and I'm like, it'll be 15 minutes. And he was just like slammed the door and went and sat in his living room. So I was like, I can't believe he's kicking off like that. And he gets like this when he's had a drink, but also he has the attitude when he doesn't have a drink, but he doesn't always say something. So when he does say something, it's worse. So I made it as quickly as possible, and I'm like panicking because I'm like, he's kicked off and he's like drunk and he's expecting this meal, and I'm thinking, if I don't get it to him soon, he's going to fall asleep and then he's not going to eat it, and it's just going to make the situation worse. So I got my boyfriend, or ex as he is now, to go and take it to him, and apparently just snatched it off him and went about time. So then I was like, do you know what, I'm not going to cook for you anymore because you're expecting me to cook for you every day. I'm not here every day. I don't always cook a meal for myself, and when I do, 9 times out of 10 you pull your face at it and you want something else. I don't want to be constantly cooking for you. And at the time I was at home a lot more than I am now. And he's like, well, you're at home more and you like, I'm going to work all day every day. I went, well, you know, that's your choice. You know, you're more than old enough to do your own cooking. I've been doing this for 20 years and I shouldn't have ever had to be like this person who does everything around the house because you don't want to do it. So it was hard for me to stop doing it, but I stopped doing it, and he would come home from the pub every night, like midnight or whatever time it was. It was mainly like closing time. It was really ever before closing time. So he would come home and he would start searching the kitchen. Like every time he'd have this little routine where firstly he'd go in the kitchen. If there was nothing on the side, he'd look in the oven. If there was nothing in the oven, he'd open the grill and like, because I would always think, why are you looking in the grill? I'm hardly going to leave food in the grill. You look in the grill, then he'd look in the microwave, then he'd look in the fridge. Then he'd storm in the room I was sat in if I was in downstairs, have a go at me, tell me I was out of order, either storm up to bed or storm in the other room, and a lot of the time order a takeaway, or I could even like properly slagging me off to himself in the front room. So I'm like, I can't back down, because if I back down, this will just continue and I'll be expected to constantly cook meals for him. So it continued, and he'd do his routine every day and give me a hard time. And back then I didn't go for drives. Like now, if he's giving me crap, I'll just walk out the house and go for a drive. But back then, I was a lot more anxious and a lot less confident, so I wouldn't go for a drive. Now and then I would go out, but it'd be very rare for me to go out for a drive, whereas now, like tonight, I wasn't going to go out, but I thought, I'm not putting up with this, because literally he had a go at me, and then even though there was food there, he had a go at me, made it clear that he expected a meal every night, and like said some other stuff, went upstairs, put his TV on full blast, and I thought, oh, he knows I don't like the TV on full blast. Even if like I were anxious, if I was going to go to bed, I couldn't sleep because he's got his TV on full blast. So I just went out. But like for months and months and months, he would come in expecting a meal, and every now and then, if I was like doing like a Sunday dinner type thing, or I cooked something and then it was enough for two and I didn't want it 2 days in a row, I would give it to him. But at the beginning, I didn't do anything other than the odd Sunday dinner, which I don't have even now. It's very rare for me to do that. So then I had his friends telling me that he was emancipated, he was losing weight, he was ill, and I should be cooking him meals. So I was like, oh my god, are you for real? Like, he's a grown man, he can cook. And they're like, you should be looking after your dad. If you're sharing a house with your dad, you should be cooking for him. And I'm like, but I don't even cook for myself most days. Well, you should be cooking for him. I'm like, well, what if I'm not there? Well, you should make sure there's a meal left for him every day. And I was getting crap off his friends. They weren't being nasty about it like he was, but they were just saying that he was he had malnutrition and like he was undernourished. And I'm like, does he look undernourished? And like a lot of nights he'd get like a curry from the takeaway, because the takeaway was like almost next door from the pub, so he'd get that on his way home. So I'm like, he's not under eating. And I'd get things in for him. I'd get ready meals, I'd get all sorts of things. I'd get things so he could make sandwiches, because he likes to make sandwiches when he's drunk. Like, he'll make an obscene amount of sandwiches. I don't know how he can eat all the sandwiches he makes, but he seems to eat all these sandwiches that he makes every night. So, and there was always food in, so he could make simple meals if he wanted to. So I'd always make sure there were food. And then that was like May, June 2 years ago. And every now and then, like I said, if I do something now, I will always share it with him if it's something big. But I try not to make anything where it would be shareable, not because I'm selfish, just because there's been times when I've done that for a few days in a row, and then he's coming on a day where I've not even cooked anything for myself, and he's absolutely kicked off at me because there's been no meal. And I think like a couple of weeks ago, I was making these meals because I got a Gusto box. If you don't know what it is, Google it. and obviously it's for 2 people, so I got it for 3 days. So of course for 3 days in a row there was a meal. He come in on the 4th day, which I think was a Saturday, kicked off absolutely crazy at me, and I was like, but there's ready meals in the fridge, because I get like whatever supermarket I go to, I get like the finest range or the special range or whatever range it is depending on the shop. There's always loads of cheese because he loves cheese sandwiches, so I always get him cheese, and he loves like mature cheddar, like the strongest you can get, and he likes mouldy cheese, as I call it, Stilton. So there's always a ton of cheese in the fridge. There's always like things for cooked breakfasts because he likes to have 2 cooked breakfasts a week. There's loads of stuff for him to like do whatever, but I still get abuse. And then if he comes in and I'm eating something he would have liked, he's like, where's mine? And he's kicking off at me. So yesterday, what did I make yesterday? Oh, I made like a simple stew in a pan, and I thought I'll just make enough so there's like probably 4 meals here, and I know that I will only eat 1 and he'll have enough for 2 days. So, and it's just because I just wanted that myself. So when you buy the meat from the shop, there's enough for at least 2 people, probably 3, and I'm not going to freeze it just because I can't be bothered defrosting it. So I thought, do you know what, I'll just make this pan of a type of stew. It weren't a full-on stew, it was more like a meat dish thing. So I had mine, and then there was enough for 3 meals, but I know he likes portions, so I thought, right, he'll have enough for his meal last night and there'll be enough for today. So today, well, basically last night I was upstairs when he came in, and I heard him get some, microwave it, eat it in his living room. Then I heard him get more, so I'm thinking, well, there's not going to be any left for tomorrow. So this morning when I went down, there was like the sauce with some potatoes in, so that just went in the dog's dish because it had pearl barley and it's really good for you, and it'll be good for the dog. So I made that sausage casserole type thing, and he come home, like I said, he made his sandwiches and everything, and I also said like, please don't expect meals every day, because you know I don't always cook for myself. I'll eat a sandwich or I'll get a meal and cook it in the oven. And he just went mental at me, and I'm just like, I'm not your slave. Like, he treats me like his slave, and I'm sick of it. He does nothing in the house, and even though he knows I'm severely ill, like, the doctor didn't sign you off for 2 weeks for no reason, and I know she wanted to sign me off for the 3rd week, and I went, no, I'm going back to work. But I think there's actually a sick note at the doctor's for me, because I have to go and pick some medication up tomorrow because I've run out. And that's one of the reasons I've been really ill as well, because I've not been taking as many a day as I'm meant to, and I ran out. So yes, I didn't run out of painkillers though, because I'm not a fan of taking them. Well, I'm not a fan of taking codeine, so I've been taking normal painkillers, which doesn't get rid of the pain as much as I would like it to. But it's like, I took like 6 codeine last night, and it knocked me out eventually. But first it made me super thirsty, so I had to like, that's why I was drinking that Lucozade in that 2nd video, because I'd actually gone down and got it. But I don't like how I feel when I wake up from them as well. So he knows I'm really ill, yet he refuses to do anything around the house. Like, he won't even vac the house, and my dog permanently molts, and it would help if he like vacked it. So I had to vac it the other day, and it'd not been done upstairs like all week because of how ill I feel, and I can't carry it upstairs because of how much pain I'm in. So I'm having to carry it upstairs, and because there was so much fur, it literally filled it, and he just won't do anything. It's like, I said to him, I think it was last weekend, because we have separate living rooms, he has one on the 1st floor and mine's downstairs. I said to him, it's absolutely filthy in your living room. I said, like, I vac in here for you, because like, if I'm vacuuming, I do the whole house. I said, but I'm not coming in here and cleaning it for you. I don't sit in here, I don't do anything in here. I'm not gonna come in here and clean it for you. it's not my living room. And his sofa's filthy. You can see how filthy it is because the dog sits on it. And then he sits on it and he gets filthy and he gets covered in dog fur, and then he gets in my car gets covered in dog fur. He don't care. So I'm like, you really need to clean your sofa, and your TV stand is like really heavily coated in dust, and so is your TV. And I don't know what you've done to your windows, but it just looks like you've got grease on your hands and you've rubbed them all over the window. And I said, you know, it'll take you 5 minutes to do all that. Can you not do it? And he just kicked off at me, and he cleaned his TV stand, which he thinks he shouldn't have to do. Didn't clean his sofa and left the cleaning products out. And then when I went in later that day, when he come home from the pub, he knocked all the things all over the floor, and I went, you're not going to pick them up? And he's like, I'll pick them up. It's like, was it Friday now? Still on the floor. I'm like, I can't pick them up for you. A, it hurts me to bend down because I'm in pain. And B, it's your living room. He's like, well, it's my living room. I'll have stuff everywhere. And I'm like, you're acting like you're a tramp. I think homeless people probably would look after places better than you. I said, I'm not here to do it. I've done it since I was 12. You can't keep expecting me to just keep cleaning for you. It's not fair. I can't keep doing it. And he expects it, and it's like I keep saying I'm going to get a cleaner. I'm not paying towards a cleaner. You're here. You should clean it. I'm like, but I'm not making the mess. I'm really tidy. The only time it's really untidy is when I'm really, really down and I can't even move off the sofa because of how down I'm feeling. And it was like that either last week or the week before, and I'm slowly tidying, but it's never dirty, like everything's always clean. But it's like, I feel like I live with 20 people. The amount of mess he can make in a day, it's just like, he throws things on the floor, he throws things on the sides, he never wipes anything down, he never puts anything away. And I'm just like, I can't do this by myself, even at full health, even if I don't feel down, even if everything's absolutely fine and my physical health's fine. I can't keep up with it. It's a 3-story house, it's too much. I keep saying I need a cleaner to come in and help me out once a week because there is so much to do. It's too much for one person, and he just refuses to do it. And I just, it's difficult because I just can't do everything. I'm not a miracle worker. Like when you share a house with someone, they're supposed to help, but he's never ever done anything. All he does is make mess. I've never known anything like it. He's just so untidy, and he doesn't care. Like, he'll sit there all day on a Sunday and not lift a finger. The only thing he might do is put the washer on, and that's only because he wants to wash his clothes, and he knows that's the one thing I refuse 100% to do. And it's just frustrating because now he's kicking off about food and having meals cooked. I don't even cook for myself. I've only done it the last 2 days because I've craved those foods. I've craved like that type of meal. I'm not going to buy, like, you can't buy a sausage type casserole thing ready cooked that I know of. And I wanted to do that like beef, and it had beef and pearl barley and onion and potatoes and oxals and herbs and stuff like that in it. And I put a tin of chopped tomatoes in to give it a more rich flavour. And also I had a mini can of coconut milk, and I put that in yesterday, and it was nice. But tomorrow or today, because it's now Friday, I'll probably get something and put it in the oven, and I'll get him stuff, and he can't be bothered doing it. That's what it is. And I can't keep doing it. He knows I'm really ill. Don't care. I just get abuse off him. He treats me like a cross between a housewife and a slave. People like say to me, like, he acts like you're married. And I've had to like come out. I went for a drive for an hour before I started filming. I was driving around because he upsets me and he has to go at me. And I'm like, I don't need this. And he's the one person that I defend. No matter what he does, I'll always stick up for him. He knows, like, if I say to him I want to do such and such and he's negative about it, he knows I won't do it then.